Hello and welcome back to Lesson 2 of Basic XHTML 1.1. Now, in the last lesson, we created a super basic document for creating HTML page with your doc type tag, your HTML tags, the head and the body tags, and all that. Now we're going to be going over these little guys and these characters known as elements. As you see right here, these right here are two elements. Now the paragraph tags, the beginning and the end paragraph, the line break between the two paragraphs. Now there are a lot more of these tags. To start off, I'm going to show you the header tag. Now this is the first header tag. As you can see, there's a lot of options here. I'm going to use that one. So there we are. We have H1. So I'm just going to type in header and then put in an end tag, our standard slash, and then H1. As you can see, it highlights two of them, detecting the beginning and the end tag. Now, when we go to open this up, as you can see right here, I'm going to open with Firefox. As you can see, now there's a header here. Very large and unusual text. Now, we're not limited to just this one type of header. We can use many types of headers. Step one. As you can see, there's a lot of different numbers there, which correlates to many different sizes. So you refresh, now you have a slightly smaller size, and if we want to, let's just go ahead and do H7. Sorry, H7 is not one. H6 is. And once again, do another closing tag. Save. And then we go over here and refresh the page. So as you can see, you can get that tiny, which actually ends up being tinier than the standard browser font. As you can see, of course, the browser font and browser font size can be varied on the user size, or on the user side, I should say, because users can actually change their font size and font type through their settings on various browsers. However, if they don't, their standard is always going to be the browser standard, which usually ends up being Arial or Calibri, font size 11 or 12. But that aside, this is how the headers work. And these can be used in different sections. So I'm going to remove the ones that are unnecessary. So I'm just going to type in paragraph right there. So we got header, paragraph, and there's a line break. Now after this line break, I'm going to add another header following the standard size. And that's to be an end tag. That is not what I want. There we go. Save. And if we go back over here to our web page, you can see header, paragraph, line break, header, paragraph. It's a very good format to set you up with. However, while line breaks are great, they're not necessarily the best because they just end up being empty space. My personal preference here is to insert what's called a horizontal rule. Another self-closing tag very similar to a line break tag. As you can see, instead of BR it's HR with the space and the /. So as we save this here, I will show you up here what it looks like. As you see, it does a nice horizontal rule right there. You might see this on a lot of older pages, like in the early 2000s or late 90s, pages when this first came out. Pages we loved to use horizontal rules. They would use this all the time. I personally quite enjoy it and think that it adds quite a nice element, a modern-ish element to a page that would be bare bones like this. However, if you end up using background, background, colors, wallpapers, all that kind of stuff in more complicated parts of things, which we'll cover later on, you wouldn't necessarily use this, but for more simple text-based based pages, this is excellent to be used. Now, moving on from that, we can add in links to our pages by embedding them. We do this with an anchor element. And to do that, we type, of course, we start off always with the beginning character, A, and then we do href equals, and then we tell it what our goal is for this link, what this link will lead to. And for simplicity's sake, I will end up using, very simple, google.com. Very simple. And put an end quotation mark there. As you can see, that's very important. And then we're going to close this with another caret. Now we're going to type in what the link text will be. So if we don't put anything for you to click on, the link is kind of just useless and just stuck here in this code, as you can see. So now we're going to add a thing here. So we're going to do Google, if I can spell it right, Google link. And now, as with always, we have to close it by not capitalizing it, and there we are. So let's save that, and then we'll go back over here, refresh the page, hello, and well, alright, oh, it's trying to go through that. That's another thing you need to keep in mind. See, this is going to look for it in your actual folder. It'll look for google.com document in your personal files where you have this document hosted, which is why you should do http://www. And then you have the address. So this is a clickable link even in here now. So we'll save this and do this properly. And as you can see, it goes straight to google.com with this nice shiny new logo. Right. So that's great. Now we have that hooked up. So now you have a link. And of course, you can do any link as long as you do http ://www. And then the web address. Full URLs. Now, we can do more than just embedding links like this. We can embed stuff like images in your file folder. So if I open up this, as you can see, I already have an image in here. And if I copy paste this code from over here, I'll explain it. But I'm just going to copy paste it for now because it's going to be easier for me to do so. Alright, so here we are. This is what you will do to create any image you want to embed in your page. It is, of course, the tag image source equals, and then within the double quotation marks, you type in the image name that is within the folder exactly, if I can grab it from over here, exactly as it appears in the folder. And it has to be in the same folder as your page document. So if we were to save this, and then we go back over the Firefox to refresh the page, as you can see, it appears right here. Further, you can see we have the width and the height elements here. Now these attributes we can edit to whatever we want, and warp and such. However, it's not always going to be the best idea unless you have a thing to scale it down in the right proportions, keep it in the correct proportions. You're usually going to end up having it warped or something. For example, if I try to scale this down, say do 20 by let's go with 340, and then I were to save that and then refresh the page. Okay, well that was actually relatively good, but that just happened to be relatively accurate. However, if I wanted to change it drastically, say I do 100 by 270, and I went on here to refresh it as a more apt example, you can see it can get very much warped. So the scaling is not always going to work in a way that's going to still seem proper for the image. So if I were to change it back to 319 by 480 because I remember that. And save it, and then refresh, and then everything will be back to normal, just like we had it before. Now, as with embedding images, you can do this for PNG images, as we just did right here, as you can see. We can do this for JPEGs or JPG images, and for GIF images or GIFs, which are basically moving images, which might sound like a video or a movie or whatever, but it's not, because it has a really low frame rate and only has a 255 color range instead of the full hexadecimal color range, which is the 16 per digit with 6 digits across, but that's not relevant at the moment. So those are the three types that you can use. And always make sure you put in the image file extension right there, the PNG, or the .jpg, or whichever it actually is, because that is very much important for this to show up correctly. So for example, if I were to put in .jpg, like so, save it, and then I would open up this, it wouldn't display correctly, and it would just have this broken image right here. Now say we were supposed to have this image right here in our file folder, but for some reason it wouldn't load up. What we can do for our computers where it randomly sometimes just breaks, we can do this again. See that, and then type in .png in the tag like so. So now we've set an alternate image, I believe. That or is just alt text. Yeah, here we go. See, this is now the alt text that we've now set up. So if someone can't see the image, if for example for some reason it's just not showing up, they'll get this alternate text right here, and of course it will actually act similar to how an image will work when you click on it, like so. See? But yes, that's our alternate. So we can just change this back to normal, and like I said, you can use any image you want for this, for your page, as long as it is in the standard formats, like so. Right, so that is everything for this lesson regarding the very, very basic elements such as headers, paragraphs, line breaks, horizontal rules, image links, and web links. Alright, I will see you in the next lesson where we'll go over more stuff on the more in-depth parts of XHTML 1.1 or 1.0 transitional.